Welcome, day traders. It's me, Ekaterina, and you are watching a recap of the Asian session. Stock indexes in Japan and Australia climbed on the last trading day of 2022. Yesterday, Wall Street rose at the close as a bearish pressure eased. Bulls took advantage of it and fueled the risk appetite. Weekly initial jobless claims usually have little effect on the market sentiment. However, this time, this report helped the stock recover. Initial jobless claims rose to 225,000, whereas continuing claims reached the highest level since early February. Speculators saw signs of a cooling in the labor market. They believe that it could be a solid argument for the Fed to revise its policy. Another factor impacting stocks and the currencies is the news of the reopening of China's economy. Analysts wonder whether it will help the global economy expand or drag it down. Overall, the recovery of the world's second-largest economy is a good news. However, this scenario looks unreal. After China eased some of the restrictions, it led to a surge in new cases. Other countries have already imposed restrictions on visitors coming from China. The World Health Organization called on governments to inform residents about the spread of the virus. Demand for safe haven assets is growing amid market fears. To cap inflation, the world's central banks have raised their rates many times over the year. The Fed has been hiking rates at the fastest pace on record. Since March of this year, it has raised the federal funds rate by a whopping 425 basis points. The US currency rallied to new highs amid aggressive tightening, so it's likely to notch the best annual performance in 7 years. It jumped by more than 8% versus its rivals in 2022. In the Asian session, it was also trading in the upward channel near 104.10. It rose above Thursday's closing price of 103.80 despite the cautious optimism in the stock markets. In the morning, the US dollar maintained bullish momentum, moving in the narrow range of 103.90 and 104.10. The yen also advanced today. In 2022, it looked the worst performance in the last 9 years. It depreciated by 13% against the US dollar because of the Bank of Japan's ultra-loose monetary policy. However, the yen received some support by the end of the year after the price sank to a 32-year low. The regulator conducted several interventions in the foreign exchange market and helped the yen recover. In December, the Bank of Japan lifted the cap on the 10-year government bond yields, although Haruhiko Kuroda dispelled rumors about policy reversal. Investors took his words with a pinch of salt. The fact is that his term will end in April next year. Inflation, which has spiked to a 30-year high, may force the Bank of Japan to revise its policy. The yen soared amid expectations of a policy reversal and obscure comments from policymakers. In the Asian session, the dollar-yen pair was trading near 132.50, moving in the bearish channel. It dipped below Thursday's close at 133. A further decline to the support level of 132 seems inevitable. It could approach 132. Breaking out of the range of 132.40 and 133.10. Alternatively, the nearest resistance level is seen at 133.90. Bear in mind that fundamental factors are now favoring the yen. The Aussie also inched up in the Asian session after a meteoric rise the week before. It proved its status as a risk barometer and fell to 0.6782. So the Aussie, sensitive to the prospects of the Chinese economy, is likely to notch a 7% decline this year. It weakened following the release of Australia's Consumer Price Index. However, it managed to rebound as it's also a liquid proxy of the yuan. This week, the People's Bank of China made huge injections into the banking system in the amount of 975 billion yuan. Therefore, the USD pair has been consolidating in the range of 0.6755 and 0.6794 for some time. However, bearish factors which have pushed it down throughout 2022 also did not disappear. Apart from that, monetary tightening by the top central world fears of a global recession and the worrisome epidemiological situation in China continue to weigh on the Australian dollar. So, given the change in the market sentiment, it's likely to roll back again. The New Zealand dollar is likely to log the worst annual results since 2015. The NZD-USD has lost more than 7% this year. It also slid in the Asian session. New Zealand is one of China's main trading partners, so any changes in the Chinese economy greatly affect the kiwi. As the economic situation in China is rather shaky, the kiwi will hardly be able to appreciate. In the morning, it was already trading above their previous close of 0.6347, hovering near 0.6339. At the same time, the US dollar made several attempts to recover early Friday. Therefore, the pair remained in the bearish zone of 0.6317 and 0.6349. And that's all for now. The year of 2022 is coming to an end. Investors have faced many challenges this year. However, one should always stay positive and hope for the best. With such an attitude, you will be able to become a winner in any situation. Subscribe to our channel and keep close tabs on the market developments. See you soon.